to get the best out of them, and it's going to take time.
But you can see the green flag's up. Steve, don't go too far away. We'll carry this on for the first couple of laps, and then we'll let you get out there and watch some of these riders. But the green flag is up. So we'll get the first couple of laps out of the way. I definitely want to speak to Stephen a bit more about just something there. And then we'll talk about it some more as the series goes on. Gate drop in the final moto of round one at the Motul MX British Championship of Pico. MX1 off the line. Conrad Muse, somebody's got it pulled a ripper from the outside. Is that Ben Watson? It could well be. It looks like a triumph to me, and it looked like Watson's style. He got out on the hard stuff, Steve, and we know that this start kind of drops down a little bit, and as the track dries, it definitely favours the left.
Definitely. I mean, back when we were riding, when we went straight on, it was always the favourable place to start on the left. But I did tell some of the 250 riders to go up on the left in the second motor, and I think Muster went up there and he whole shot. And I think Ben's done the exact same. This looks like it could be a good race.
Yeah, Conrad needs a much better start. Is that him there in third? Potentially could be Carpenter, or that might be him in fourth. Yeah, so Steve, like when it's this conditions, I know the track's drying a bit more, but we've had a lot of heavy rain here, and we know a start's critical in any sport, particularly motocross. But when the track's like it is now, it can be such an advantage, because you could almost pull, as we've seen some of the racing today, like 10-15 seconds on your rival in the first couple of laps, and that's hard to get back.
Exactly, and I think we saw that in the first MX2 race when Jamie Keith got the whole shot. Now, he pulled away quite quickly, and I think he deserves every credit for that first race, because you've still got to win the race and lean it. But I think you do spread out, like already, look, if you're in 10th place, you're probably 15-20 seconds behind already.
It is a better start from Conrad Muse, and he needed. You've worked a little bit with Conrad, obviously, as well. So, and we've said it time and time again, we know how good Conrad is. He's defending champion and all that, but sometimes he just maybe he ponders too. You've worked with him, so it's a mental thing sometimes.
Yeah, I think when Conrad's on fire, I mean, struggle to get anyone to beat him. We've seen it with Jeffrey when he comes over. I think he's racing into a bit of fitness, and he's a bit rusty with his pre-season prep, because he did have a couple of operations to sort out a little issue with his hips. But I would expect that he's just taking it steady. I spoke to him in between the break, and he was a little bit like that. He said the leaders were too far away for me to push too much to try and make up the gap. And you know, the first race was quite wet. It was a little bit Western Supermare style.
He didn't quite wet.
He didn't want to ruin the bike, or so he does want to win this one. He did tell me that, so we'll see. But Taylor Hamill's going well. He's had a good day.
Yeah, he was absolutely pumped with his third in the first one. Well, look, Steve, thanks for coming in and joining us. We're going to try and make this a regular thing with Stephen Sword, and also Tommy Searle is also working alongside you, isn't he? So it's basically you two doing a lot of the riding, coaching, and getting in their heads and all that kind of stuff. So we wish you the best of luck. It's great that the ACU are doing it, and let's hope it grows. Obviously, I'm sure it will with you guys doing it. You've got a lot to offer. You've both been championship contenders. That's a big deal. So, best of luck with it, mate.
Good, thanks for that. Look forward to coming back in again.
Yeah, there you go. So Swordy's going to make way. He's out of there and going to go and do what he does, watch riders and assess, and, because he's still working with other riders as well. And see what happens there. But it's great to have him in.
Yeah, indeed. Always good to see you, Stephen Sword, and like you say, putting a lot of effort into that new ACU Academy. But that was a ripper of a start from Ben Watson, wasn't it?
I mean, he definitely wants to go out and win this opening round. He put a solid ride in the first one, but I don't know if you could hear Stephen then. He's spoken to Conrad in between, and Conrad's like, no, I got to come back and bounce back in the second one, want to win it.
Yes.
Said he's added a little bit of an off-season to get over some extra surgery and stuff like that. Got sore hips and stuff at the minute. Didn't want to over push in the first one.
No, that's fine, and we knew that coming in, that he'd not had the best of winters, but there he is on the 426. Again, being chased down by Taylor Hamill, who I said mistakenly, he's on the DLT count, Saki, not the 772 in the first one, and he's had a really, really solid start to the season, backing up where he was. But Conrad Muse managed put the pass in on that lap. Watson, 2 seconds then to the good on our first race winner, Oriel Oliver, and this is the tussle for the overall.
It is exactly that. Now, Oriel in the first moto, excuse me, he absolutely laid it on basically about 10-minute mark, and he made that super aggressive move on Adam Sterry. Talking to Stephen there, I didn't even see where Adam Sterry is. Where is he? Not showing.
Sterry is 10th at the moment, so not a great start for that one. So he'll obviously have to be pushing through. So Ben Edwards having a good run in 9th, Purden in 8th, and great to see Bobby Bruce on the 579 on the Honda. He's there in 7th. Brad Todd, he got a good start on his D&K off-road Honda. He's there in 6th. Carlton Husband keeping what's been a good day for the Phoenix Tools Fantic team on the road with 5th, Hamill 4th, Muse 3rd, Oliver in 2nd, and Watson currently in the lead as we look at the top 2 in the centre of the circuit. And Oliver is closing in, I think, a little bit, Jeff.
Yeah, he was strong in that first moto. He seemed really, really confident that he could go and do it again. Just going to highlight again what you said, Bobby Bruce, and out there with the 20 club, this scheme that they kind of put together where there's no sort of one title sponsor. He's gone out there and pitched himself and said, all right, we'll take 20 sponsors, all putting in the same amount of money.
Yeah, that is the way to do it. I had a good mate of mine, Ray Stringer, back in the day, did the same with road racing, and we pitched up with loads and loads of small sponsors. We got somebody, that's Todd, that's Brad Todd, just at the side of the track. Well, I think, no, it's not, but I'm sorry, looking at a different camera there.
Yeah, well, look at Oriel. He's pushing on here.
He hasn't got into the sand pit, though.
No, but, I mean, he's absolutely closed the gap on Watson. Those two are getting away from Conrad, clearly, in this one.
Yeah, Conrad does, like I say, if he's riding himself in gently, it's a long championship. Ben will want to come and put his stamp of authority on it, but Oliver looking racy, mate, isn't
he? He is indeed, and like I said, for the championship, early doors, but you always want that little bit of story. If you know, I mean, not ideal for Conrad. He obviously would love to come in fully fit, but a rider, the amount of riding that they do, they got to pick their moment to get running repairs, as it were. And of course, recovery time for many little operations and things that you have to have.
Phoenix Tools fastest lap then too. Oriel Oliver in 2nd place.
No surprise.
So you can see there as they drop down that first bit, and then this brilliant drone shot. I'm quite vocal in my dislike of drones, but this is what they need to be used for. Chasing bikes around a track shows you nothing, but this is a great shot. Shows the beauty of the track, and it also shows these ruts here. We spoke about it in the previous race, Jeff.
Yeah, you're right, but it also just shows you how the lines develop and how actually there's some parts of the track that never get touched, even though it's really wide, because you just wouldn't go out there or you wouldn't use them. So,
and it's easy to see how some of these guys, well, why is he using that line? Well, if he picks this line here, you are basically buying into, I'm going there and there on the next 4 corners, whether you like it or not. But,
and that is the wonder of our sport, Phil. Very different to MotoGP or road racing, where they're kind of give or take the same sort of lines, really much, and not, but obviously motocross, what can be a good line on lap 1 is gone away by lap 4.
Yeah, and
it can just, in particularly these conditions, it can just blow out.
Oh, lovely line by Ben there. He just stayed just outside of the inside rut and rode around the flat on the inside, didn't bury it.
I like the way he was going through the rollers as well, because he was deliberately making his front wheel hit, not going over the top. He was making sure it was hitting the upright of each one there to sort of bounce him way through it, because sometimes you think, well, I'll double over it, but then that unsettles the rear, and then before you do it, you're losing traction. So he was very, I would say, disciplined across those rollers.
Well, I think that gap has gone out by quite a lot on that lap. Oriel Oliver, although he's still in touch, has not managed to close the gap. It was a second across the line last time, and I'm expecting that to be closer to 2. Conrad Muse is already 12 seconds adrift in this one, with Hamill there in 4th, Brad Todd 5th, Husband 6th, Bobby Bruce in 7th, Sterry now up to 8th, Pern in 9th, and Ben Edwards in 10th.
I was just looking at the state of this track. I tell you what,
Tanner Ward in 11th. That's a good bounce back from the Canadian. the SC Sport Homes I was looking down the thing trying to see where he was, and Tanner Ward in 11th. I would have loved to have interviewed him after an 11th rather than
but it was good.
his butt whipped in the first one as he put it off camera.
Yeah, but it was good to get his take on it, because that was his first ever ride. Just looking at his track develop, I'll tell you what, goggle prep's been important today as the rain came down. Obviously, like roll off, we got obviously Smart Films supporting this series as well, and Yes Goggles and all those guys. So I should imagine quite a few people have been using that today, using their gloves to wipe across with all that kind of stuff going on. It can make a big difference to your race. Having said that, we saw some riders just chuck their goggles off early doors, but that one might have been because of sweat and condensation.
Yeah,
not
just getting water in behind the film and stuff. Sometimes it's a decision that you don't want to take, but you just got to be. I can't even see. So whatever happens is going to be better than that.
Yeah, and you're right, exactly that. You might have a load of reel in your cartridge, but like if you're steamed up, you can't see anything.
So Ben's definitely dropped the hammer on that lap.
Definitely. He's like, right, that's as close as you're getting.
So Bobby Bruce still there in 7th. Sterry now up to 6. He's on a rip. So we'll have a look at the gaps as they come by next time and see what's going on. Freddie Bartlett there. He's having a good ride in 13th. Eddie Wade in 14th. Charlie Putnam in 15th. Louis Kessel 16th. So all of these boys having solid rides. It's a deep field here today in this Apico Factory Racing MX1 Championship. So Jaden Ashwell, Luke Benstead, Tony Craig have not DNF'd, but
yeah, definitely a deep field across all 3 classes here today.
It's definitely delivered, Jeff, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They've been proper. Oh, look at that! Look, Oliver's gone.
Has he?
Yeah, he's not.
Has
there.
he literally dropped the hammer that much, or is L'Oreal gone? As in?
Well, hang on. Well, that's a question.
Because that is, I'll tell you what, what's happened there, because, I mean, I reckon L'Oreal might have made a mistake, because I can't believe that Ben Watson has pulled that much of gap on him on one lap.
So the man on the Gabriel SS24 KTM has gone missing, gone down, or whatever, and we will try and see what happened, and that will elevate Conrad Muse to 2nd position, as we look at.
I mean, it was some lap. 3 seconds quicker than his previous lap almost, I think. Watson's gone there. So he's like dropped the hammer. Let's see if...
2:25, fastest lap of the race for Ben Watson then.
Yeah, L'Oreal, look at that, 2:38. So he made a mistake, definitely.
So he's now 16 seconds adrift. And Conrad, did I see he was 26 seconds down then? I don't believe that.
No, no, that is right. I mean, that's Ben Watson has just put it down. The last 2 laps
back to L'Oreal, and 26 back to Muse, with Hamill a further 4 seconds adrift. But that's, I think, look, the track is the big separator here. Having clean views, these guys these are pros, and they know when to push and when not.
Yeah.
And there's a point at which you go, do you know what? Brad Todd and I think Carlton Husband have swapped places, because Todd was, in fact, no, it's Sterry that's made the move. So Adam Sterry, he's on the way up to 5th. So a good recovery ride from outside the top 10 from the man on the 811 Chambers KTM. But yeah, sometimes you just got to go, do you know what? If I have a crash here, it's going to be a big one. We'll take what the day gives us.
Yeah, you're right. But that has been a real separator. To be 4 laps in and have that much of a gap between the top 3 already. Yeah, I think, like you say, it's like round 1. Everybody's just kind of gone, okay, let's take a chill pill. Let's just bring it home. And but obviously Watson, I think, did wholeheartedly respond to L'Oreal's thing there and thought, no way, and he laid down. Now Ben is in a lovely position where he can really back it down.
That was Josh Gilbert.
I was going to say, was that
there.
Gilbert?
So Gilbert then, I did hear on the circuit comms while you were doing the interview with Stephen Sword that one of the Apico riders did hit the gate, and I'm wondering if it's that. We'll stick with this battle here, because Taylor Hamill on the DRT Kawasaki, he's not letting Conrad Muse off the hook. I think he's closer than the 3.9. Muse looks a little bit out of sorts around a couple of corners there, and Hamill did not. And I think we're going to see him starting to close in.
Just looking there on our timing screen. Yeah, so Josh Gilbert has indeed dropped all the way down to 30th. So we think that's him. Having said that, Tom Grimshaw is also down in 33rd. So it was one of them.
Been Grimshaw, so not a great day for the title sponsor of this championship class. But no doubt they will bounce back. So there's Hamill on the DRT Kawasaki. I'm not going to say I will press down with him now because that's getting a bit like an old record, but he's been good value for money on that Kawasaki for the past couple of seasons.
Said he in the podium winner's circle, he said he really been trying for a third for so long, and he was buzzing. He was genuinely pumped,
yes.
like and it's his I think he said it was his dad's birthday yesterday or tomorrow, something like that. So yeah, nice little gift for Chris there, his dad.
Yeah. And let's not forget, it's for today's Mother's Day as well.
Oh,
so
of course.
For all the mothers here, I meant to say something about it in the preamble this morning, and things overtook us. But for all the mothers that are here at Hawkestone supporting their families, and those at home that are watching a live stream on a Sunday afternoon, and
all hell the mothers.
Yes,
let's be honest. You only get one, and they're great.
Yeah, it's all the dads make it happen. No, it's the mums that make it happen.
Well, yeah, more often than not, it's the mums that keep the dad in line. There you go. So it stems from the top.
Yeah. So here we go then. It's looking very much like Ben Watson is going to run away with this one. Say 16 seconds, 18 seconds now across the line. Which is, like I say, we just want to see interesting racing. There's Taylor Hamill.
Well, I think this is going to be the closest one. Can Taylor put some heat on Conrad here?
Yeah. You can see that side of the track, everybody favouring the left-hand side now. And we're looking at Adam Sterry in the background there as well, I think, as we go down the far end. So we will see so there's Hamill coming back towards us.
Yeah, that's a good ride, isn't it, from Sterry, from where he was? He was, what did I say on the opening lap? He was 10th, wasn't he?
He was 10th or 11th. And I know that he does, but we've kind of become accustomed to see him getting good starts and maybe going the other way a little bit, but to come back from that, and he's pushed through, and it is a big gap that he's got to close down, but not sure who that is that we're looking at there. That looks like one of the that might be Ezra Blackwell, possibly. I'm not sure if that's a Triumph. Tanner Ward still running in 11th place, and that's a decent result. If he got the top 10 today, he'd be well happy with that. The low sun then starting to take effect in this track, especially as you come around this bit, Jeff. It's one of the things where a long peak on a spring day.
It really does play havoc. When you're racing this sport, you've got to align the wheels in these ruts. And we've been there, Phil. You come up to what there used to be, obviously, the famous double jump, now the tabletop before the bridge, and you're just like, what? You're basically staring at like a black hole.
Yes.
I can't see what I'm hitting.
It's not pleasant. Ben Watson then across the line, still 18 seconds to the good on Aurel Oliver. And as it stands at the moment, that means that Watson will take the overall from Aurel Oliver, with, I think, Conrad Muse will take third overall. We'll have to do some quick maths on that one. But I think he'll consider that. What will worry him more than that, he'll be happy with the points, but it's his distance to the guys at the front that might be a concern.
We were following a rider there, and I just saw them wash the front end.
Was that Ben?
Well, I wasn't sure if we were following the leader, and I think that might be why our cameraman's now struggling to find. I think that might be Watson just took the front end.
Took the front coming out there.
Just going into the face of that first jump. Could be wrong, but it looked like to me the red kit of Ben Watson he's back up.
Yeah, there he is.
So but we were following him, and then so I think he quickly got back up, but it looked like he took the front end. I'll ask him about if he makes the winner's circle, which I'm sure he will. So that's one of the other. I don't think that's Ben. No, there we go. Is that Eddie?
That's Eddie J. Wade. Yeah, that's one of the other Triumphs. So we'll see when they come across the line with 6:45 plus 2 to go, whether the lead suddenly comes down, and that will explain if it does. I mean, I think it was probably 4 or 5 seconds dropped on that one. I'd say everybody really spread out now. Or you can see there now how it's all rutted out.
That's Watson there going under the bridge, your race leader.
Yeah. So he's tucking through under the bridge. He's going to go up and under the tree. And like I say, this new part of the track been remodelled. He's going to come across the line now. We'll see what the gap is.
Yeah, just waiting for our timing screen to turn. Well, yeah, so his time went to a 2:37. So there you go.
He's been on the floor.
He's been on the deck.
Well spotted, Jeff. That was like you say, we just the camera panned and the boy that was in the shot suddenly wasn't there anymore.
And these guys looking through that camera, it's not easy. I tell you, these cameramen, they have to, and he was still probably thinking, well, that's the
where's it gone? Look, a great job done by all the guys and girls out there this weekend, and on Dirt World TV, we thank everybody, MXGB TV, all of the people out there making all this work. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook on MXGB TV and Instagram the same, and obviously our YouTube channel MXGB TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ask for notifications, so every time we go live with one of these races it will pop up on your feed. And also don't forget to comment. We've got people looking at the comments and stuff, and even if we don't get back to you straight away, after the heat of battle has kind of succumbed a little bit, we will look at all of that stuff and trying to keep the British Championship moving forward.
And go and buy stuff from Dirt Store.
Yes.
Go and do that, because they obviously title sponsor of what we do here with the live stream. Big investment from those guys, and they've got top quality brands, by the way. Loads of them that are actually sponsoring and supporting this series as companies as well. So do us a favour, go and buy from them. Online store, obviously grown very quickly, justifiably so. And as I said,
they're putting a lot into the sport. They're taking they're going to GPs.
Yeah.
With Ben there off to Spain, probably Tuesday or Wednesday of this week to contest the first of the European GPs. Just a nod also, just see a Prox banner in the background there. We'll have the Prox pit pass that will be live at some point in the week, usually Tuesday or Wednesday, which will bring you all the behind the scenes stuff that we just don't get to show you on a race day. And we've battled through the weather, and like I say, a lot of people have succumbed to the rain, but those hardy souls that have stayed and seen it through to the bitter end, I've got to say, Ben Watson take his first victory in MX1 in the UK. And I'm sure he'll be pleased with that, and he'll be wanting to maybe start that as his championship campaign for something that I think he's expecting to win.
100%. He's coming from GP. He's been for the last couple of years really our most consistent, out there, along with Adam Sterry, just two Brits out there trying to represent Great Britain in MXGP. But Ben is still going to be doing obviously some rounds of the MXGP World Championship, but the focus very much for Triumph and for him is to claim that British title and wrestle it away from Conrad.
Yeah, definitely. I'm putting a lot of effort into retaining this British Championship. Again, another shout out to Tanner Ward, still there in 11th place. Another good shout out as well to the man currently sitting in 12th, Bailey Sutton. He's going to be top 10.
Solid, isn't it?
That's top 10. He will be well happy with that. And Brad Todd has fallen down the order a little bit to 7th, but again, for the man that's going to do the opening 4 rounds of this championship before decamping to America to do the AMA Nationals. The man on the DK Honda having a decent day here at Hawkestone at the first round of the championship. But Watson, Oliver and Muse, that will be your overall, should it stay as it is.
Yeah, not, as we mentioned, not great for Josh Gilbert. DNF's going to costly in this championship at round 1. So he's got work to do. Good bounce back ride in the second one from Bobby Bruce.
Yeah, nice to see the Bobster in the top 10.
Well, he came out swinging in the opening round last year, didn't he? Remember that?
He won the opening round in MX1, and you know, it's in MX2.
Yeah,
and it kind of all went down a little bit downhill from there.
Yeah, always good watching Ben Ryan. I mean, he was quite small initially, obviously, in the 85 grid, and a growth spurt. Both him and his brother Nathan quite leggy, quite tall, and Ben, you know, it's just like he's very. You can tell he's very relaxed on the bike, particularly sand. You know, obviously good in all conditions, but both him and his brother are exceptional sand riders.
Yeah, well, and Ryan,
Ryan too.
They did. They had. I think one year I commentated on the Skegness Beach race, and all three of them were inside the top 6. So definitely born in the sand up there in Nottinghamshire. So obviously lots of places up there to ride that will give you good sand skills. But yeah, looking at the results then, Jeff, so as it stands at the moment, Conrad Muse was 4th in race 1 and he's 3rd in race 2. He will tie on points for Taylor Hamill but get it on countback, and obviously we will get a tie for the win, and Ben Watson will get it on countback. So there's Dan Thornhill.
There's Dan, yeah.
Yeah, he was off at early doors in the beginning of that one. He's worked his way up through the field. So good to see Dan Thornhill doing okay. We've got a lot of DNFs in this one.
Steaming his way around the circuit.
Travis Steele. Aaron Paxton. I saw Aaron riding round earlier on and didn't get a chance to go and see him in his guys in the pits on Saturday, but it's good to see him back at British Championship after having a bad year last year with injuries. Mackenzie Marshall, we saw him doing. Gilbert's out, Grimshaw's out, Tom Murphy was the other Honda. We saw Soft 74, Jaden Ashwell, Luke Benstead also out. So it is really a race of attrition. Tristan Purden there on his Lexa debut, having won in Scotland last weekend at the first round there of the Scottish Championship at Tain. I think he's probably going to finish 6th overall here at Hawkestone Park. Time goes to 0, so it will be 2 laps to go next time by. A dirty front number plate for Ben Watson, so he's...
well, that's where I think that's where he washed out a couple of laps ago.
Do you think he kind of got a little bit over too far and then just lost his balance in the rut and maybe fell over on the far side of the jump?
Yeah, because I think exactly what happened, because that rut will carry on out of the corner all the way up the face of the jump.
Yes.
It's like literally like Scale-Electric out there in a minute.
Pushing in there in the background as we pan back round. There's a rider there, and that might be the number 41. We will see who that is. So it might be Seth Mann actually on the 42.
That's Ben cutting through the pack. That's Jamie Carpenter that he's just gone by. So Jamie's in 14th. So there you go. Ben has lapped up to at least 14th position. Sure, that was Carpenter 184 in the in the light sky blue fly kit.
Jamie, another rider coming back from a season-ending injury. Let's go.
There he is there on the inside. Looks like he's got no goggles on.
And obviously 25 plus 2 round this circuit is a big ask. And no matter how much training you do, the first moto will always find you out if you're not quite ready. He's coming up now to that's the 249 of Tanner Ward. So Ward is currently in 11. So that was Bailey Sutting in that group as well that he just went through. Gives him a wave by.
Yeah, good work.
And so he'll be pleased with coming back. And you look at those go. In fact, Ward's now up to 10th. So who's on the drop there?
Waving him through there, not getting caught in an AMA lappers scandal.
No. Yeah, let's not go there.
I was winding you up because I saw your comments.
Oh,
so let's park that there, Phil. Calm yourself.
Never mind that. You should have been in our living room with me, my good lady wife, and my son were discussing it. It was good fun. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's how it should be done. Tanner Ward is up to 10th. So who have we? It's Carlton Husband. Husband is the rider that's gone missing on that lap. So Tanner Ward bouncing back with a potential top 10 in Moto 2 after a disaster in Moto 1.
A lot changed on that lap because Jamie Carpenter, like I said, was in 14th and he crossed the line on that lap in 11th.
Yeah.
So just outside the top 10 there, a lot has happened on that lap.
Yeah, Bailey Sutton has dropped to 12th, but that's still a good ride for him. Then it's Eddie J. Wade, Freddie Bartlett,
so Husband is
Charlie
dropping.
Putnam.
Yeah.
So it is. So I think that could have been who I saw pushing in that centre section. It did look frantic and coloured. So he will be. We'll see if he's in the next loop. He might actually be off the track through the gate now. But here is Ben Watson. Then he'll be getting the last lap board next time by.
Monumental lead of close to 30 seconds in this Apico MX1 second moto opening round here at the Motul MXGB British Championship. If it stays like this, Watson is going to come out with the red plates, albeit tied on points with Oriel Olivier. But with 30 seconds to play with and all his experience again, he just got to nurse the bike home, nurse himself across the line. He's got plenty to work with 1.5 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I was so much hoping for an elbow banging 225 when everybody's got. It just doesn't happen like that very often. But guys just find their pace, and Ben's ridden a really, really nice race. To be fair to Oriol, he was there till he wasn't.
Yeah,
that took the wind out of his sails a little bit. Obviously, Gundoonson winning the overall in MX2, that would have been a nice bounce back for that team after a disaster last year. But winning one class and second in the other, that's still a good day at the office for Sean Simpson and all of his guys at Gabriel SS24.
I think the track has definitely played its part in affecting bar banging racing, like you said. If it had stayed dry, I think we would have seen more straight up battles on the track. But there we go. That's part of motocross. We have dry days, we have wet days, everything obviously in between. So I think a lot of these riders will obviously just be happy that we're up and running, go away, assess. Obviously some will be happier than others. That's how it goes.
Well, yeah, but who do you think's going to? Obviously the guys, the Apico guys are going to be a bit bummed for whatever reason. We don't know what's gone on there. Obviously I know one of them hit the gate, I think Ben Watson will be like, I'm here. Obviously, let's not forget he was my tip for the championship. We'll just always remind you that one.
Yeah, well done. But regarding of looking at it in a minute, I know we've not finished this race yet, but not necessarily in that order. But I would say the top three are kind of what you would expect in this right now. Regardless of the overall.
The order, I wouldn't.
Stereo, I kind of think would also be in there, but that's how it's going to be. I think Hamill's had a brilliant day. He's putting himself in this thing as a top 5 guy, clearly. Yeah. I'm just having a look and trying to see what the gap is between Adam Sterry and Taylor Hamill as they came across the line last time by, but I think it's going to be too much. Yeah, Taylor Hamill's already well over the line, and no sign of Adam Sterry yet, so there's no race for position there, really. But the form of Adam Sterry been a little bit up and down, and he's bounced back from a pretty poor start in that second race, and I think he'll be happy to nail a 5th after being so far back, especially in these conditions. Here we are, Ben just bringing it home. He's obviously been in this position many times before, certainly on when it coming through his youth career. In fact, I've seen him literally so far out in front in some youth races back in the early days in the 85 career that he might as well just parked it up and had a little rest, got himself a drink, wait for the others to catch up to make it interesting. So he knows how to manage a race. And you know what? All that experience of racing GPs, but not necessarily being a Grand Prix World Championship contender, winning a race is just like, it's still nice. He's not like, it's probably been a while since he's done this. Like
there he is,
you know,
takes
won a
the
race.
checkered flag. Congratulations, Ben Watson. First overall, you need to go and do your bit.
Yeah, I do, and you're going to follow me out not short after, so I'll let Phil bring the rest of it in.
Cheers, Jeff. So that is a win, and the overall for Ben Watson on the Dirt Store Triumph. He is going to be pleased with that. Fantastic day at the office for the man from Nottinghamshire.